Boom. Let's see here now. Where are we? Let's do this. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let me see if I can get this fit to screen. I just discovered that. That's nice. Okay. That was from last week. All right, let me change the angle of this so you don't have to stare at the light. I'm coming over here like this. All right, that works. All right, let's get going here. There's always a little housekeeping to do, right? Hey, my name's Kurt, and I'm a dad who draws, and this is our Wednesday night live. We get together every Wednesday night and we draw a portrait. Hey, there's a blast to the past, Mr. Steve Terrier. Let's see, I lost my train of thought. Let's see, so where was I? We get together every Wednesday night and draw a portrait together. I take you through it step by step, and hopefully you can learn a little something. I've been teaching now for, oh my goodness, who knows how long, 10, 20 years, 25 years maybe. And I absolutely love drawing. I love art, and whatever I could do to help it make it more enjoyable for you, that's what I'm doing. So I am glad that you are with us. Please take a minute and like the video and let everyone know what you're doing, right? All right, let me see if I can pick up our picture here. Okay, that was from last week. Yes, my friend Steve here and I go all the way back to high school. So it's always fun. He pops in once in a while. I always like that. Okay, fit to screen. All right. Let's see now. What is going on with this? Oh, there. Okay, hold on here. I got to get our, there we go. Okay, now we're talking. Got to get our reference here. Okay. Okay. Hold on. What's going on with, all right, we'll do this. All right, and then we'll go take that up there like this. All right, I think we are ready. Let me come in on top just a little, let me crop it just a little bit here. All right. Wonder why that's doing it like that. I gotta check one thing here. It might be, hold on. No, I like the other way. Hold on here. That is bizarre that it's, here, let me try one more thing here. Just trying to get this, let's see here now. Fit to screen, reset transformation. Okay, oh, there we go. Okay, much better. All right, I think we are ready to go. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna make sure I'm over here. Okay, one of my favorite drawing instruments is a Crayola pencil. There it is, Crayola. Not sponsored or anything, but just telling you that for the amount of money to use a Crayola color pencil to sketch with, you can't beat it. You really can't beat it. So the only downside is there's wax in here, so it's not very favorable when it comes to wanting to erase. But okay, let's go ahead and start. We're going to start with a nice round oval here. Isn't it weird that when you're working with material, sometimes if it's just, it just doesn't feel right. I don't know why. I think this thing is warped, but we'll work through it, right? Yeah. I feel sorry for anyone who's brand new who's watching this thinking, oh, he must be some lunatic. All right, look at this. I'm gonna just kind of get the edge of his face here. You see that? And look at the back. Back is kind of dropping down here. And right here, look at this. This is just we're gonna come right into his face just like that. So really what I've just done is kind of put together used a contour line to try and get a feel for the whole thing. Now we're drawing this lightly. I'm drawing it lightly. I'm holding my pencil back here so that I could still make changes. So once we have our sphere here, let's kind of establish where the brow line is, okay? So I'm just gonna come down here and let's see here. My brow line's gonna be about here, I think. And it's tilted. If you could see, it's tilted down just a bit, just like this. And then right here, this is kind of like where his temple is, right here. So let's, and this is gonna be like, the side of his face is gonna be kind of flat. All right, so this ends up being the flat side of the head, right? So I'm just generally putting some general marks here, and even right away I could see I don't like that angle that I've got, so I'm gonna adjust it. You could adjust things right away. Let's find the center of that line. All right, the center line of the head, and then what I'm looking for is I'm gonna go right there because this is where the glabella is. So I'm looking at the distance in this picture here from the center of his head to the side of his face over here, and then from the center all the way over here to the temple. All right, so let's just kind of coming down here like this. There's the center line. I think we can make this picture a little bigger if we wanted to. There. All right. Let's go ahead then and come in here and get the glabella. That's like that's this little part of the forehead that's right in between the two eyes, and it's like it's a little bit of a keystone. And then I'm going to come right down the bridge of his nose. And I'm really paying attention to like this area over here. All right, so let's see. Let's come down here. All my technical problems, right? Now, look at this. This is interesting already. I was just about ready to make this curve here. I'll do it right now. So this kind of comes right underneath his nose here, but already I could see an interesting alignment. When we're drawing, I have 4 tools of proportion. What are they? What are my 4 tools of proportion? What's this? Oh, this will be great. We have vertical, horizontal, we have negative space, and then cartoon check. So what I'm trying to do with these 4 tools in my head is to get my proportions set up. So I'm constantly looking for things that are lining up vertically, things that are lining up horizontally. I'm looking for negative spaces and negative shapes and cartoon check. I'll show that to you in just a second. But right away, look at this Look at this horizontal alignment from the underside of his nose. If I kind of draw a line across, you can kind of see his shirt. His shirt, where his neck comes to his shirt, is lining up with the bottom of his nose. So I've got to kind of move mine up just a little bit there. All right, so we've got that. Let's get the underside of the wing of his nose here. So we're gonna just come in here just like this, and I can see we can also have a little bit popping on the other side there, right? So let's go ahead. I'm just going to kind of drop a little bit of shadow right underneath his nose right now. And if you look closely at his nose, he's got a core shadow. That means core shadow is, if you had an object, we were talking about this today in the daily draw. If you have a cylinder like this, and the underside of that cylinder is shaded, a core shadow will happen on the surface of something that's round, where you'll get this little bit of dark just like this. And this happens all the time on the nose. So let's come in here. There's a little bit one right there. All right. I'm going to get that nostril in, and then we could kind of see this great overlap right here. And you know, there's the secret, if there is a secret, the game changer for me when it came from drawing portraits, I think an instructor once told me this. Don't ever go for the light. You know, we always talk about, oh, what's the likeness? Did you capture the likeness? Well, they said, don't do that. Just go for the construction. Think of how the face in all of its facets and its planes. Focus on that. Don't worry about trying to make it look like the person. And when you do, look, there's the ball of the mouth right there. When you do, it will really free you up from a little bit of anxiety, because you just focus on what are the parts of this guy and how do they all work, versus, oh my goodness, does it look like him? All right, so we got those lips. Those are interesting lips. It's very dark there. All right, there's that bottom lip. Look at that. Bottom lip's right there. We could see his teeth, so we're gonna put those in just a second here. But what we can do right now is, look at that. Just drop some value in there. Drop some light value right in there. Look at the side of his head, side of his face here is coming in like this. And then you can kind of see it, his face gets that roundness right there. You see that? And then the chin, that's the ball of the mouth. And then the chin is overlapping that just a bit. And then we can curve around just like this. Hey, there's Mary and Julia. Welcome, you guys. And glasses, I always save glasses to the end. All right. We got some stuff going there. That's good. I'm even going to kind of just put a quick contour, put some lines here, so I know that we're going to have a mustache in a little bit. Now look at, this is a very distinguished, a very strong landmark. Landmark is a place on their head or on whatever you're drawing. It's a point of contact, a point that you could grow from. So look at this. These muscles right here in his eyebrows, look how strong they are. So look at this. We've got this. This is very helpful here to kind of put this stuff in place. And look at this one over here is kind of curving around. Just putting those marks there really helped me figure out what's coming next. All right, let's get these eyes in. So if I look closely, here is the tip of his nose, right? And so this, if I go straight up from his nostril, maybe the tear duct is going to be right there. And then this one is going to be behind the eyes. So let's put this, let's get the shape of his eyes. So we got 1, 2, 3. And then the other side, we're going to come up 1, 2, 3. And I can see his pupil, he's kind of looking over in this direction. So we'll just put a pupil there, and this one's very dark. Can't even see it, but we'll go lightly right now. All right, look at it underneath his eye. There's the fat pads underneath his eyes, and you can see it's coming just like this. And then of course this one is the same over here. In fact, watch, I'm just gonna, this is really all in shadow on this side of his face. So let's make it easy on ourselves and just drop a darker value, right wherever you see shadow here. Don't be afraid of that. So look at this. It's coming in over here. What's going on down here on this? This is coming down here, right? Look at this, right underneath his mouth. It's also in shadow over there. All right, let's get his ear in place. Let's see, this is coming in like this. I'm just kind of looking at the shape, the side of his head here. So we're coming out, we're going in, all right, we're gonna deal with those glasses in just a second. And then this is coming in once again. All right. All right, let's get his ear in place. So let's position the ear correctly. So first thing, I'm going to take a measurement in my head from here to here if I look at the picture. So the distance from corner to corner, if I visually look at that and then do it again, this is about where his ear is. You see that? And then his ear is going to be on this slant. It's kind of like this slant right here. So this is where I'm going to use a horizontal measuring point. Where does the top of his ear line up with? Top of his ear lines up kind of in here. So we got to make sure we go high enough here, and then we're going to come down. And then where's the bottom? The lobe of his ear lines up right at his nose. So let's kind of come across here like this. And over the years, I kind of enjoy using like straight lines to kind of establish where a shape is, and then I can come back in and I can actually curve things out. All right, let's look at this here. Look at his ear. You know, as I'm drawing his ear here, I'm gotta think of, I have this great class called the Daily Draw. We get together every day for about 30 minutes. And on Wednesdays, we always look at portrait design. So in the next coming weeks, we will be looking at how to draw ears. So if you are looking for a great group of people, looking for some direction, then maybe you should check out the Daily Draw. And what I'm going to do is I'll put a link for that in the comments when we're done. All right. Okay, so there's my ear in place. Now I need to adjust his head just a bit. So let's see here. So even when I put, I will put lines down on a page, and then I'll have to make adjustments. And because I don't have an eraser, I'll just draw. I usually end up just drawing on top of whatever it is that I'll draw darker. Okay, look at the shadow. Look at the shadow over here. So, shadow on his neck. So I'm just gonna put this in almost, how far back does it go? It goes all the way over here. So you're making a measurement here. And I haven't gotten all dark yet. I'm just trying to get in some lighter shapes here. Hey, there's Roberto. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of start to get some of these eyes in place here and start adding a little bit more darker values. I'll tell you what, before I do that though, I'm gonna place my glasses right now, I think. So when you draw glasses, I try and draw them as squares first, all right, or rectangles in this case. So, but I look for the corners. So like this one glass, it's going to start right here. You see that in the picture? And then when it gets all the way to the crossways here, it's going to hang out maybe right to there. So let's just, I'll curve it and stylize it in just a minute. And then they're at an angle. So let's get our angle right. Now we don't want these things twisted, so we want to make sure that we're drawing them as a flat, as a rectangle first. Where is this top corner of this glass? All right, look at that. It's like almost the middle of the nose there. So let's see here. So this is going to come around. All right, we got that. And then the next one, if I go from the bridge to the nose, look at that. That is really off coming out of the nose there. You see that? All right, we're going to curve that down. And here's the thing, if you don't get your glasses exactly right, no big deal, because no one's going to see them. No one's going to see what your original picture looked like, your reference. So just get them squared up, and then you'll be in business. All right, so look at this. Here's this. Where does this part of the glass, look at that, it goes right above his eye, right here. And then this one, of course, is going to be parallel, yep, coming right over here, and then it's going to head right back to his eyes, just like that. I'm going to sharpen my pencil real quick, hold on. Okay, so I think we've got everything that we're looking for in place. Let's kind of go back in here and start like really punching in our darker values. So let's start with his eye up here. So if I look, I'm going to come down here with, it's really dark, but then be careful when you put your glasses in, because you see the glasses have that little bit of an edge right there. So So now at this game, now I'm where I'm just kind of looking at the shadow shapes. Let's see what's going on over here. We got this going. So he's got these wrinkles up here. Look at this. Look at this wrinkle. Let's talk about wrinkles real fast. So if you're going to draw some wrinkles, look at that. There's a couple wrinkles right there. So you're going to come right up there and you want to make sure you leave that little bit of an edge. You see that? You leave that extra little bit of highlight right to the top of it there. A little bit of highlight and then go for your next one. Then your next one. All right, keep going here now. I'm going to move down a little bit. Don't be afraid of going dark. All right, now check this out. Let's talk about teeth, because he's got some teeth that are showing and we want to make sure we grab them, okay? So right now I put a general tone down here. This is the perfect color of teeth. So all I want to do now is I'm not going to draw the teeth per se. I'm going to draw the negative space around the teeth. See that? I didn't draw the teeth here. I just added the value around the teeth. And then I can see that this value on the teeth is still too light. So we'll just come in here a little bit lighter on top of that. And there you go. I got some of his teeth back in there. You know, drawing portraits takes a long time to get really good and comfortable with. So the bottom line is you just have to keep trying no matter what. Look at this. Look at this coarse shadow right here in his cheek. So look, watch this now. We'll do this little wrinkle here. And then we'll darken up the edge there a little bit and darken down here a little bit. It's subtle, but it will work. It just takes time. Nice dark shadow underneath that lip right there. Don't be afraid to pop that in. And then this shadow underneath here is, wow, that is a thing of beauty. Okay. All right, there's some shadow underneath his ear here, right? And we can throw a little value back here. And then look, his ear is casting a little teeny shadow here. See that? All right, let's kind of. I'm gonna put some of these wrinkles here for his forehead. I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna push. I'm gonna keep them light here. All right, let's work on his hair. So key with this is think of surface lines. I'm just gonna use just small strokes because he's got hair like mine. He's got it. Yep. That's what he's got. You know, funny thing is they say you get your hair from your mother's father. And my mom's father, left, when she was just a little girl, and my grandmother ended up moving to California, and I think he lived in Helena, Montana, and he stayed there. Anyways, I never knew what he looked like until just recently. My younger brother found a newspaper clipping of him at my aunt's house, and it was really kind of interesting because I really saw a lot of my three brothers in him in this newspaper clipping. So it was kind of strange. You don't know what someone looks like your whole life, and then you see them for the first time. So, and guess what? He didn't have any hair. Yet my own dad has a full head of hair. So those genes did not get passed on to my brothers and I. We got my mom's dad's hair. Look at that. That's coming out quite nice, I think. All right. I'm going to go in here now and just kind of start to really punch in some of these darks here. Really get some of these darks going. Don't be afraid of the darks. They really can make your drawing. All right, I'm gonna just get some of those little details here, right? Okay, so let's talk about this plaid he's got going here. So we're gonna come down here like this, and let's see, what are we gonna do with this? Let's see here. Well, I'm just gonna kind of do what I think I should do. I'm just gonna kind of think of this as more of stripes. If you're looking for a good group of people too, we have an excellent Facebook group. So when we're done here, I will also put that in the comment section, a link where you can join us. I'll tell you that the other thing too is when you are drawing portraits, what's going to happen is you will struggle and you'll struggle and you'll struggle. That's the truth. And then all of a sudden you will hit one out of the park and it'll come out of you out of nowhere. And you're like, how in the world did that happen? Or you'll think you've discovered it, whatever magic you were missing. And then you'll sit down and try and do another portrait and it will turn out awful. And then you'll try it again and you try it again. And all of a sudden you score another, you'll get another one. And that's the journey. I think that what that is I think your brain is just like starting to grow more and more of those neurons, you know? And you start to see things better than you ever have before. So that makes a big, big difference. So don't quit. Just keep going. It will happen. It will happen. Okay. I think I've finished with that one there. Well, I hope my little bits of nuggets of wisdom will help you a bit. Thanks for watching, everyone. This is Wednesday Night Live with Kurt. I'm your dad who draws. Go out there, make your day great, everyone. Roberto, Mary, Julia, Steve, Paul, Cindy,